Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David, and we are going to recap The Amazing Race Season 35, Episode 6 today.
Yes, we are. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/nerdtainment.
We're going to get a U-turn vote.
A U-turn vote. We've been waiting for this mandatory twist. They were like, we're not making this optional for you fools.
You're going to love U-turn. It. Look, now at the top here, we are going to get like a little bit of info, but not all the info. But I love that they give us all the info later.
In terms of who voted for whom?
Yes.
Yes. I like that too. But they just, like, we sort of hear, basically you get the idea that it's like probably Robin and Chelsea or Steve and Annalee, because like those are, who we're hearing a lot about. They throw in some like, Greg and, John, and Rob and Corey and all of that stuff. But really it's like right off the bat, we hear Liam and Jeremy saying like Robin and Chelsea, just they aren't really like collaborative. They're not wanting to help anybody. Greg and John, we straight up see vote for, Steve and Annalee. Mm-hmm. We also see Morgan and Lena vote for Robin and Chelsea. So it's one of those two people because those are who we're seeing actual votes drop in for. Yeah.
So we do see Liam and Jeremy, Greg and John, Morgan and Lena. We see their votes.
Yeah.
And that's 2 for Robin and Chelsea, 1 for Steve and Annalee. But then we're going to start to head off on the day.
On the day. We're still in Jaipur, India for this leg of the race, and Steve and Annalee are departing first. They have an hour head start on anybody else.
The first place team has an hour lead.
That is crazy. So they have a very healthy lead.
So healthy that their driver is going to drop them off at the incorrect place. They're going to have to walk around, figure it out, and they're going to do all of that before anybody else shows up.
Of course, people probably even aren't even out of bed by the time Steve and Annalee are like on their way in this leg. So Greg and John are the second to depart. They're departing at 9:45. The first thing you have to do is, look through this monocular thing, which, by the way, I never had heard of the word monocular before.
No, but it does make sense.
It does.
Mono.
It's not bi, it's mono. So they have to look through that, see the, message in the window. Which is an address, right? That they they're just like, it sounds like they're doing like an eye exam. They're like, UDAI. And they're like dictating the letters to each other. But then they, ask the locals and everyone's like, it's this door over here. There's a lot of, in this leg, we're going to go here and we're going to get a clue. And we're going to go here and we're going to get a clue. And then we're going to go here and we're going to get a clue. And then we're going to go to the detour.
I love that.
Yeah. But it's a lot to keep track of. Like,
it is.
As I was taking notes, and I'm probably going to be a little bit scattered on this recap, it felt like the energy of being in traffic in India. There's just like lots of things happening. And like people are here and they're here and they're here. So it was hard to keep track of, but it was fun.
Notes, whatever.
Yeah.
But I love that it can mess up a racer. You got to go here. You got to get lost. Your driver's not right. You got to go around. Like, I do like that it gets kind of messy.
Yep.
And I like that this isn't a difficult task, obviously, but it does take a little bit of figuring out. Like, they're twisting. It's not working. Can't see anything. You got to like pull it all the way out.
People are like literally comically looking in the wrong end of the monocular. Yeah. They're like not extending it properly. Like it's kind of a comedy of errors.
Right. So I appreciate that. It takes a little bit of effort to get the address and then they move on.
Yeah.
But our first, well, I guess our next thing, they're going to have to like get a rickshaw out of a group of rickshaws. Right?
Yes. They have to, they get there. Once they get to this door, they get their next clue. And it's like, take your rickshaw to the spice shop, but you have to clear the path because it's in this like jumble of rickshaws. And they literally, I don't know, I guess rickshaws don't have brakes because they're just pushing them and they're rolling. Like,
I don't know. Let's talk about this rickshaw because it feels like, hey, rickshaws are a thing, but women don't drive them except for this one company.
Right.
And I'm like, yes, way to highlight the women driving rickshaws. Except that they all did, not all, but we had some horrible rickshaw driving.
Slow. They're getting lost. They're taking wrong turns.
I was like, this is not women empowerment like I thought we were doing.
But you know what? True equality is when we let women be bad drivers, just like men are bad drivers.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
I'm sure the male rickshaw drivers get lost and are slow as well.
That's what we got to remember, guys.
You know?
It's not just the women. Okay.
Yeah, but it isn't like, it's the speediest rickshaw company in all of India, and they're all women. It's like, they're actually mediocre at best.
They're like, do you want to get lost? Get a woman driver.
And it's also like, wasn't it a fleet of like e-rickshaws where it's like environmentally friendly?
Right.
So that's
maybe
not
they
a great
don't,
advertisement either for that.
Maybe that's why they don't go fast. Because they're like, hey, we got to go real slow for the environment.
We're going to conserve gas by going slow.
Okay. This, at some point in here, Steve and Anna Lee, because they're so far ahead, are going to loop around and see that their face is on the U-turn board.
That's right. They see the spice shop. Yeah, they like pass it first, right? And have to like go back around to see. Yeah. But Anna Lee sees, she's like, it's us on the U-turn board. Let's talk about this decision.
Please.
We talked about this a little bit in the previous recap.
We sure did.
And I was like, well, I think the recency of Steve and Anna Lee winning, the legs, like maybe people will see them as a threat. And you very smartly were like, why would you U-turn the team in first place? Like, that's not the moment.
The timing of this is that they're in first place.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. They are so good. They are a threat. You want to get them out.
Yeah.
But can you get them out when they are in first place and they have a healthy lead?
An hour lead. An hour.
Y'all.
Yeah.
This was so disappointing.
Yeah.
I can't believe. And we later find out how close it was.
5-4. One team had to change their mind.
Oh my gosh. I can't.
And Robin and Chelsea, I think, is the one that you brought up, that you would U-turn, because you said they're not collaborative. Right. They seem to have like not made enemies, but not made friends on the race, because they're like pretending not to see people so that they don't have to like help them, find a task or whatever. And you pointed out like they're a little further back in the pack, but they have done well. But this is maybe the moment to U-turn them.
Right. Only because the edit was like
100%.
Robin and Chelsea are not making friends.
Right.
So if I were on the race and not thinking that Robin and Chelsea are ever going to help me, and they're kind of in the middle of the pack, yes, U-turn them. Honestly, I probably would have U-turned Rob and Corey. Although it seems
they
like
were 6th place,
because they weren't,
and they have been doing so well.
They're so good.
Yeah.
And they're in the middle of the pack. So take the opportunity to get rid of them.
That's right. Take your shot when they're sort of like down a little bit, But
I think their social game is so good. People are not even talking about them. I mean, Todd and Ashley, they're also a strong team that are like in the middle of the pack at this point.
Yeah.
You turn them. Like, nowhere would I have thought Steve and Anna Lee were the right choice. And I cannot believe.
And if the group had U-turned Robin and Chelsea, they would have been eliminated based on how they performed in this leg of the race. Like, guaranteed they would be gone. And that's how you want to use the U-turn. Because now, I mean, we'll get to it, but Steve and Anna Lee they're hot.
Yeah.
They've been U-turned and they're confronting people about it. So the 5 teams who voted for them were Joel and Garrett, Corey and Rob, John and Greg, Robin and Chelsea, obviously, and Milena and Andrea are the 5 who voted for Steve and Anna Lee. Everybody else voted for Robin and Chelsea.
The smart people were Steve and Anna Lee, Todd and Ashley, Liam and Jeremy, and Morgan and Lena. Those were the people who had the right strategy here.
Yes.
And we are going to hear from Todd and Ashley that they understand this.
Exactly. They had the right strategy.
Yeah.
So the detour, Steve and Anna Lee have to do both sides of it now. Bundle versus bricks. It's the flowers and it's the bricks. Both, they're similar challenges because it's like carting heavy things around, right?
Yeah.
I think some people weren't expecting the flowers to be as heavy as they were.
Right.
But it's, essentially the same thing. You have to like go on rickshaws for both of them to deliver these things to a location. So usually the detour has a little bit more of a distinction between the challenges, but they're similar vibes.
Right. A mental or physical type thing. And these were both pretty physical.
Or like a detail versus, physical kind of thing.
Christy, this is very interesting. Did you hear this from a team? If one of the team had like gone off to like Rob and Corey or somebody else, 2 teams would have been U-turned.
Whoa.
I mean, I would have loved to have seen that.
And don't you think, before we completely move off of this,
the
fact that it was really circling around these two teams, to me, that suggests like there was healthy conversation about who are we U-turning.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've heard a little bit of that from the teams of like, well, I did have a conversation. So I think there was like, hey, let's get it together, guys. It's either going to be this team or this team. We just needed one more team to have figured out the right strategy for this.
Yes. So Steve and Annalie are doing both of these challenges. Greg and John are going to choose the bricks. Joel and Garrett choose the bricks. So they're sort of off doing the detour.
The biggest difference here from bundles and bricks, it seems, is that the bundles, you got to get back in your rickshaw and they're going to drive you around. But the bricks, you load up your own bike and you have to do that.
You have to navigate the street yourself.
That's the biggest difference.
Both of them, importantly, require you to get a receipt and bring it back.
Okay. All right. So Steve and Annalie, they do the bundles first.
Yeah.
We're going to see Andrea and Milena do bundles.
Yeah.
Greg and John at bricks. Todd and Ashley, Rob and Corey are going to get to bricks with Steve and Annalie.
Yeah, because Steve and Annalie deliver the flowers pretty quickly. They're like racing around the city. The other thing that I liked about this leg was teams are passing each other at different points. So like Steve and Annalie are with the bundles and they're passing Robin and Chelsea as they're trying to figure out the monocular. Like it's fun to see that sort of like crisscross. But they handle the flowers very quickly. They deliver those flowers and they say, let's go straight to the bricks. We have to do both sides.
That's right. So there they are. And the other teams are like, are you already doing a second one? And they're like, yes, we are.
Yeah.
That is how we do things.
Yeah.
Except that somebody steps in and is like, no, you're not.
Literally, it's like a local that a producer was like, I can't go on camera. Like, you have to go tell this person. He runs up and he's like, he's sort of awkwardly, he's like, read the clue.
Can you read the clue?
You didn't finish your challenge. So they bust it out, read, okay, you have to go back and give a receipt. But I think I might have gotten similarly confused if I were in the race. Why would they think we have to go back and hand in our receipt to get a clue to continue the race? We just got to go and finish this other thing. Right quick. Like,
look, that is a little confusing, but a U-turn is not here, lump it together.
It's not one big thing.
Yeah.
It's two
do this
distinct things.
And then unfortunately you got to do this one as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, read your clue, do what the clue says.
Yes. So immediately now, Annalie is in doomsday mode. And she kind of continues for a significant chunk of the episode where she's just like, we're out. This is it. Like, this is the big mistake. And it's a fair point because mistakes like that can take you out of the race.
Yeah.
But, sometimes they did fine ultimately. But like, I feel like Steve was probably like, just stay positive. Like, not over till it's over.
Yeah, she did definitely go to a negative place. And she's like, well, this is it. And I know she's mad.
Oh, I would be mad too.
They got U-turned, but like also you knew you were probably, you were possibly,
there's a chance.
You were one of the ones that might get U-turned. But yeah, Steve is the one that was like, hey, we're in it till we're not. So let's just keep going.
Yeah.
And I think that was helpful that he was able to get her back on track.
Yeah.
I think we would do the bundles, right?
Yeah. We'd see bricks and we'd be like, no. And also like having to navigate the rickshaw, the like bicycle rickshaw ourselves in the street. I'd be like, put me in the cab rickshaw. Put me in the cab version of the rickshaw. Drive me around.
Unless I was a team where I was not happy with my rickshaw driver.
Absolutely true, which there are some. So Greg and John is a great example. They had a rickshaw driver who was taking a long time. They were slow. They were getting frustrated. So I think when they got the clue, they were like, let's not do this thing with our rickshaw driver.
Let us figure this out and then we'll come back to the rickshaw when we have to. But like, don't add them into your task if you don't have to. You do need to consider that.
Yeah. So Liam and Jeremy are not being able to, they can't figure out the binocular. We're seeing Todd and Ashley arrive at the spice shop and they give us the insight into their strategy behind voting for Robin and Chelsea. And I'm like, more people need to think like you because you're thinking strategically and smartly here. I
I have that Joel and Garrett did bricks. They were excited to ride a bicycle, but then they get lost. It seems like they're quite turned around, and now they are tired and hot and dehydrated.
Hot and very dehydrated, yes. Yeah, they were kind of a mess. I mean, they did find this leg, but it was just like...
They have to stop and get water.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like...
Truly. He's like, I'm going to pass out if we don't get water right now. Liam and Jeremy, they had a rough go of it, this leg. Because after they can't open the monocular, then they're like trying to find the marked rickshaw. And I think it was partially one of those things where like a bunch of the marked rickshaws... Probably most of them are gone now.
There's only one
left. They're like, how do we like find it? And then I thought they were getting in the wrong rickshaw at one point. I was like, that doesn't look like the other rickshaws. Because I thought they were all pink for some reason.
It was pink.
Well, I'm colorblind. So that rears its ugly head again. Anyway, I'm like, oh no, now these guys are getting... I just assumed everything Jeremy were doing was wrong this episode. I'm like, they didn't even get in a marked rickshaw. These guys cannot tell up from down.
Right. No, they're going to have the worst rickshaw driver, though.
Yeah.
Of all of them.
Yeah. Truly.
Yikes. Okay, Greg and John are finishing bricks first. Rob and Corey, Todd and Ashley are going to start to finish. Morgan and Lena are doing bundles.
And they are hustling, Morgan and Lena.
Hustling. Because they did not, they were in the back of the pack.
Lena is screaming at Morgan, tying the knot of the bundle. And Morgan is like, can I watch the thing? And she's like, no, we have to go. Like, they are... This dynamic, for me, I was like, I know you wouldn't speak to me like that because we're not siblings.
We're not siblings.
And like siblings can speak to each other like that and it just rolls off their back.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is inappropriate. You are out of line.
100%.
Screaming at her like
this.
We would
never do that to each other. And if we did, we'd be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I honestly couldn't tell which was worse because like they are absolutely ripping their hair out, trying to make their way back in the race because they've started this leg where the underdogs were in last place, which is true. But like, there's that, and then there's Liam and Jeremy, who have not a hustle bone in their bodies.
They're like, we're just happy to be together.
This is amazing. Like, this guy, he's my brother.
Yes, look at us doing this together.
He means so much to me. And they're in the worst rickshaw, and they're like.
I mean, they do seem frustrated about this rickshaw.
But barely. Like, they're expressing frustration, but I don't feel the frustration from them because they're just kind of like, ooh, well, look at the time go. I don't know how these rickshaws, they move pretty slow.
I think that they were frustrated about the rickshaw, but Morgan and Lena's relationship is one for the books. I mean, those two.
It's incredible.
They started this episode with like, hey, we just got to like get together. I think, we speak compassionately to each other, blah, 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 blah. And then never, like, ever again did they ever speak compassionately. And then by the end of the episode, they're like, okay, so we could get better at the way that we speak to each other.
Because their interview, like, just two different perspectives on Lena's behavior. Like, Lena's like, I was just trying to, like, get us going. And Morgan's like, you were abusing me. You were straight up out of your mind. It's like, and Lena's like, I don't know. I feel like I was just hustling.
Yeah. She is like, I just make things happen. Right? We get in a tough spot, and I'm like, let's go. And Morgan's like, can we talk about this? Can we learn this?
Morgan's like, I thought I was scared when you almost stabbed my eye out with a needle. And this somehow topped that.
They're funny. But they did a really great job of hustling.
They did. So, yes, like you said, Joel and Garrett are getting lost. They need water.
Finally.
The water is like giving him life again. It is like bringing him back from the dead. But as people are starting to finish, we're getting a lot of people finishing the brick receipts. And they are now getting this clue to go to this cotton wholesale shop. Again, just sort of like a stop in between. Like you're going from the detour and then you just have to find this store. Again, an opportunity for people to get lost or turned around. And then from that store, for some reason, they like took a cotton bundle with them.
Yeah, it was for the next task.
So it was for the stamping?
Yeah.
Got it.
They
I was
went to
like,
get
why are
that
they
cotton
doing that?
bundle.
Okay, I didn't put that together.
Because the producers told them to do it.
Yeah, but I was just like, what's the point? It felt like another like sugarcane thing. Like we're going to carry sugarcane up the hill. But it totally makes sense that that's what they were stamping.
That's what they were stamping on.
Yeah. So yeah, they go to the stamps after the cotton shop.
Great. So the roadblock is, who likes to play with blocks?
Yeah.
This one's misleading.
It is. I didn't think it was going to be as hard as it was because Greg kind of raced through it. Like he got 6 right, I think, on his first check and then was out pretty quickly. But people had trouble with getting this one down.
Yeah.
And I think maybe no one more than Steve. I was like, he is the wrong person for this challenge.
Yeah.
I think we know that Steve is not the detail person.
No.
We saw him try to put those Lotus packets together when they were in Thailand. And that was a disaster.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Annalie would have been a little bit better. I don't know how great she is at that, but yeah, this was definitely a struggle for Steve. I mean, it did have some layers to it. It was a great task, I thought. You've got 4 colors.
Yeah.
And you have to put them in a certain order to get that look.
Right.
So you had to notice like what order they did it in, how they were doing it. You know, it's a learning curve on like not splattering paint everywhere.
Yes.
I really did enjoy it. And those were beautiful peacock.
Beautiful. And then it's like, you know, there's like, you see when they're showing them how to do it, they like put it down and then they like bang, bang. They like bang it twice to, you know, get a certain look to it, I guess. But it sort of reminded me, there's this guy that I always pops up in my TikTok algorithm. I don't know if you've ever seen him, but he like spray paints things on like walls of his home or wherever, like random places. And he like puts down all these layers, like stencils.
Yeah.
Stencil, and he'll stencil it all black. And then he'll put another stencil on top of that, green. Stencil on top of that, blue. And like stencil, and then pulls the final one away. And it's this like gorgeous painting that he's made with spray paint. So it's that same kind of thing where you're like layering colors on top of colors, but you have to do it in the right order, like you say, for it to end up looking like the peacock that they want. And not everyone is going to get that color order correct.
I love the big red X.
That was great.
And nope, this one doesn't count.
Yeah.
They have to get 9 total.
It was this episode's version of no. Just that big red X, just stamping every single one. And then they're like, I thought he was going to be done, but he just went back to refresh his stamp because he ran out of ink.
More red paint on that. That's right. We're going to see Greg and John and Rob and Corey get there first. They're going to get started.
Yeah.
And then we're going to see more people like Rob and Chelsea are going to get to the bricks. Andrea and Melena are going to finish up bundles.
Yeah.
Liam and Jeremy are still figuring out how to tie a bundle.
They are just taking their time. Just enjoying Jaipur. They are on vacation.
They're like, wait, what? So, what are you doing? Like,
yeah.
Where are we going?
Did this one go under?
Let me watch again.
Well, okay. We can watch. We have time to watch one more time. And the edit is like keeping us in suspense a little because they're showing Robin and Chelsea are kind of getting turned around in their rickshaw at one point. You know, most people are getting lost at least once this episode, it feels, because it's just a lot of
the rickshaw drivers
making your way around the city.
Not great.
They don't know what they're doing.
Todd and Ashley are going to go to the roadblock. Todd's going to do the stamping.
Yeah.
But Greg gets out really, really quickly.
Really quickly. And that's why I thought it was like, this doesn't seem that hard. And Rob was so cute. He like went to get his readers. You know, he's like, oh, I got to like really pay attention and like see this.
Yeah.
But I would say both of them, I mean, Rob had a harder time than Greg.
Yeah.
Greg got out in 2 checks. He really killed it more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Rob, I think, took 4. But I loved this segment with Rob because he's like back in coach mode.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's important to stay calm.
Yep.
Because you have to like model behavior. You know, it's just like it's just great how he's like, he's very aware of like how he's coming off and how he's reacting to situations.
He's great.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
We love him.
We do.
Him and Corey both.
Yeah.
Just lovely. Lena's going to do this one.
Oh, they are hauling ass, as they say, because they like catch up and everyone's like, whoa, you're here.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we're hauling ass this leg.
Yeah.
And Lena's like, yeah, I'm going to haul ass into this block printing thing and I'm going to like slam the things down and I'm going to rip them off of the cotton and paint is going to splatter everywhere.
Oh, okay. All right.
This one I need to slow down a little
we gotta like just
Yeah.
chill a little here.
Yeah.
So
Then
Steve
Steve
and
and
Anna
Anna
Lee.
Lee catch up.
And Anna Lee, no fear. She's like, so
who did it?
Did you?
Did you do it?
Did you? And of course, this group was like, no, I would never. I would never.
Morgan's like, girl, no, I did not vote for you. And
No
that's
way.
true. She was one of the ones who, did in fact vote for Robin and Chelsea.
I think it was true until Andrea and Milena show up.
It was true until, and she's like, did you U-turn us? And Andrea's like, no.
No way. No.
I love in her interview. She's like,
she'll find out.
She will find out on television. I'm not going to tell her.
No, and I was
but other people are volunteering. Robin, Corey's like, yeah, we we had to cut your lead.
Right. Yeah, just trying to,
Joel and Garrett, I think, admitted.
No, I would have absolutely been Andrea and Milena.
100%.
I'm not telling you.
No.
What?
I don't need you coming for me.
No.
Yeah.
No way. I would lie.
I'm on Team Steve and Anna Lee. Well, first of all, I wouldn't have voted for them in the first place.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I wouldn't have had to
the
face
team
that.
who I did vote for, if they were like, did you? I'd be like,
I'd be like, you're my number one ally.
Nothing but support you the whole time. If I don't win the million, I want you to win the million.
In fact, even if I do, I'm splitting it with you.
Yeah, 100%.
That's how deeply I care about
That's
you.
right.
Yeah.
That's what we'd be saying.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So they get there. There's a lot of chatter about, who U-turned whom. Liam and Jeremy, of course, are not there because they're still getting their receipt from the flowers. And then we see Rob is, failing on the fourth attempt, but he's staying calm. Then Steve just gets 0 on his phone. Straight up, none. And he's just messing up the order of the colors, not catching on to all the detail with that. Then finally, Robin and Chelsea, Liam and Jeremy are finishing the detour. They're arriving. Milena also gets 0. And Andrea's like, you got this, girl.
Yeah.
Staying supportive. But it was like, it's such a contrast from Greg getting 6 and, Rob doing decently to people getting 0. I think it was just, maybe it was like a little bit more comfortable in the front. It's
exactly.
Like,
when you're the first team to show up, you really watch that demonstration.
Yeah.
You get yourself ready and you do it. You come running in when you're middle or end of the pack and you're just like tearing through.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? Stamp? Okay.
Yeah. I loved when Joel finished and the judge is like very funny because he like holds up the clue and he's like, this is for you. And Joel's like, and this is for you. And the judge is like, okay, thank you. Bye.
They're very funny.
Very funny. So then Rob finishes.
Yep.
I love the moment with ASL clapping as he's running out. That was great. Then Lena, she gets 13 out of 9. Overachiever.
She is artistic.
Yeah.
Like we have seen her definitely using those skills. She's very good at that stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Milena and Steve are struggling. We see Todd finish.
Yep.
Steve is gonna finally finish.
Then Milena.
Right.
Yeah.
But Robin and Chelsea are just gonna arrive around this time.
As people are leaving.
Yes.
Right. So they, I think, arrive and have a feeling that they might be ahead of Liam and Jeremy.
I think they are aware of that. Somebody says, I think they said, they're behind us. And people are like, yeah.
Yeah.
But Robin does not do well at this.
No. She also gets 0 twice.
2 whole sheets, completely just not.
As they're waiting for Liam and Jeremy to arrive. But she's like in the zone. She's talking about her peacock tattoo and what it means to her to have survived all of these tragedies in her life. And it seems like she's kind of like, all those teams are gone. Liam and Jeremy are not here yet. So I'm going to go Zen Zone a little bit. And I'm just going to get 0 a couple of times. And I'm really going to take my time to perfect this craft.
Yeah. I think she had to go back and see that she was doing them in the wrong order.
Yeah, right.
She had a bit of a learning curve there. But she is going to finish before Liam and Jeremy arrive.
Yeah. It was not a nail biter. There was no editing tricks to be done here to make it seem close.
Nope, because not only is there no hustle in beautiful Liam and Jeremy, but they had just the worst rickshaw driver.
The worst.
And they chose the bundles where you needed your rickshaw driver to drive you around.
Mm-hmm.
So they wasted even more time getting lost when Brooks would have at least eliminated that.
Yeah. And then Liam, when he gets to the roadblock, I mean, they know. They know they're in dead last.
They know.
Phil doesn't have to tell them. They know. And Liam's like, I love this. Teach me again. Show me how to do that peacock one more time. Like, I want to do 100 of these. I don't want to stop at 9. I love it here. It's just, they're like, we're not even going to try.
They're so pretty.
Yeah. So
let's do our order.
So number 1, Greg and John.
Way to go, Greg and John.
This is not their first number 1, right?
I don't think so.
I think they've placed first.
They won some Expedia cash.
That whole thing, I'm like, Phil, what are you saying? A key point?
Yes.
A key charge?
I don't care.
I'm like,
I just think that it's better that they're giving them cash points, whatever, instead of actual trips. Because they used to have to pay taxes on those trips.
Oh.
And there were rules about when they could take it, blah, blah, blah. It was always a problem.
Huh.
But just getting this Expedia cash or whatever you want to call it is better for the racer.
Yeah. It's not clear messaging though. It's not like lingo that I'm familiar with. I'm just always like, is this a prize?
Yeah.
Did you actually win anything? But they get key points or whatever to go to New Zealand. So then team number 2, Rob and Corey, up from 6th.
I mean, they've been in the top 5 before, but
this is where this is home for them.
Yeah, back up
top
to the top.
Joel and Garrett, 3rd place.
Thank you for
excellent finish.
Yes. Finally, guys.
Excellent finish for them, even with the water and the dehydration.
Right.
Really good showing for them. Morgan and Lena, 4th place.
Wow.
Up from 10th.
Ladies.
Amazing.
It has been too long.
Yeah.
Since it wasn't between them and the team that was eliminated.
True. They hustled. It was not pretty.
No, but they earned that.
They earned that 4th place finish.
Absolutely.
That's what we want to see, that fight. I love that.
Rounding out our top 5.
Todd and Ashley.
I don't think they've been out of the top 5.
I don't think so either, but they kind of float more towards the bottom of the top 5.
Yeah.
4 or 5 is kind of their sweet spot. So they are sort of needing a really good leg to boost them up. Andrea and Milena, 6th.
Stay in there.
Love them. They actually passed Steve and Annalie on the way to the pit stop.
Yes.
Yeah, they had a better rickshaw driver.
Rickshaw pass.
Then
making Steve and Annalie 7th, which I mean, hello.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Not even close to being eliminated.
Yeah.
Is the point here.
Yeah.
8th place, Robin and Chelsea. Had they been U-turned,
they would have gone.
100% would have gone.
100%.
Although Liam and Jeremy,
I'd give it maybe an 80%.
We're really trying hard to make sure that they were the ones eliminated.
In the last episode of our recap, we talked about, there's not like a team where you're like, I wouldn't U-turn them. And I was like, well, Liam and Jeremy.
And I was like, oh yeah.
You were like, yeah,
that's true.
And here we are.
You didn't need to.
They got eliminated without getting U-turned.
They were going to do it on their own.
Yeah.
I loved getting to know Liam and Jeremy. Their relationship is very interesting.
Yeah.
I loved how open they were about their difficulties and how supportive they are of each other. I love that. I think men need to see men supporting men.
Agreed.
So I love that.
I love their beautiful eyes and their beautiful arms.
Oh my gosh.
Their beautiful hair.
Beautiful to look at.
Yeah. Liam shaved his hair off.
He did?
He had like a buzz cut in your exit interview.
No, I think it was just pulled back.
Oh.
I thought.
Liam or Jeremy? Jeremy's was pulled back.
Oh.
I thought Liam had a buzz cut.
Oh, really? I was distracted by their eyes.
Yeah.
I don't remember their hair, but I will tell you what I do remember is when I said, ugh, I wanted you to pick bricks because you were already having trouble with your rickshaw driver.
Yeah.
They both went, oh. I don't even think we talked about that. So you're right.
Oh my God.
If we had done bricks, we would have done it ourselves because she drove us out of town. In the moment.
The amount of
months later
post-morteming you and I would do if we got eliminated from the Amazing Race, we would walk through every single scenario that we could have done differently.
Yeah.
I bet these two, they got on a plane, left India, and they were like, well, that was fun. Didn't even think about it.
Yeah, they were like, man.
Yeah.
What a time we had together. Wasn't that beautiful? Not a thought of what they just went through.
Oh my God.
I was like, wait, are y'all just figuring this out? No.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe they were recruits. I think they were found.
Yeah.
And
somebody found them on Instagram and said, those men are beautiful.
Have you seen those eyes? Yeah, I get it. You found them.
They need to be on television.
I agree.
Yeah.
But on maybe a different show.
Maybe a different show. Maybe they'll show up on Love Island or something like that, the CBS version.
That's true. Put them on Love Island or what's the other one that Phil does about jobs?
Oh, Tough as Nails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're military, right?
Yeah.
They're tough as nails.
Sure.
As long as they just like have to do one task, maybe, instead of racing around the world.
But like you say, Robin and Chelsea was the smarter choice for the U-turn. I think this idea of like when Corey throws out his justification of like, oh, I wanted to, get rid of that hour and a half lead. That's pretty short-sighted for me because there's going to be an equalizer at some point. You're all going to end up on the same plane, or you're going to show up to the dock and the dock doesn't open until 5:45. And then everybody's like there and leads get erased that way. Like, don't use the U-turn to erase a lead. Use it to eliminate someone.
I think that's just what you come up with when that person doesn't get eliminated.
Oh, sure. I guess you can't come straight out and be like, yeah, I wanted to get you out. You'd have to be like, oh, yeah, I just wanted to erase your lead.
Just wanted to, erase your lead, get in your head. What? Yeah. No, you just, you wanted to anchor them?
You wanted me out.
Now they're just mad.
Yeah, you're right.
They're annoyed, and they're in the back of the pack, which maybe just makes them fight harder. I don't know. Yeah, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
Because, does it really help to have them in the back of the pack? They're just such a strong team. They're going to get back to the front.
I know.
I don't know.
We'll see how it goes. But next time they're in Cologne, Germany.
Ooh.
And it is the first leg this season with self-drive. So we're probably going to see some clutch issues.
Love it. I'm also ready to get out of Asia.
Yeah. It's been beautiful, but like, come on. Let's go around the world.
A lot of hectic markets, like we got to break it up. So yeah, I'm ready for a self-drive. This is great. Yeah. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
I love this group. This top 8 is very fun.
Very fun. Who do you think is next?
I don't know.
I'm going to say I got 2 teams.
Yeah, that you're worried about?
Yeah. Robin and Chelsea and Andrea and Milena.
Yeah, I can see that.
I love Andrea and Milena. They're on my draft team, but they love a 5, 6, 7, right? Placement. They do not love the top of the pack. They don't want to be in the front. They don't want to win. Like, they just love to sit in that.
They were in the top 5 last week.
They were 4th last week, I think.
Yeah.
But I think that was an anomaly.
But I think that Morgan and Lena are in a similar boat as Andrea and Milena of like, can have a great leg, can have a bad leg.
Yeah.
So I'm not as worried about Andrea and Milena.
I want them to last forever because I'm loving them.
Yes, I love them.
But I'm nervous for them.
I'm nervous for Morgan and Lena and Robin and Chelsea.
Okay. Yeah.
I think those are...
Be interesting to see how far back Robin and Chelsea honestly, really are at the start of this next leg.
Yeah. Joel and Garrett are such a strong team, but I also feel like they can get lost. They're not super, super fast.
Yeah.
Like they can get bumped down with the littlest thing. You could throw them off.
Yeah. I think it's kind of half and half. I think the solid 4 are Greg and John, Rob and Corey, Todd and Ashley, and Steve and Annalie. To me, those are the ones that are like consistent. The other 4 can swing a little bit, good and bad. But we'll see.
Yeah, we will.
Anything's possible.
Yes. Oh my God. Put them both on there.
Put them both in.
That's a great place for them.
Yep.
Do a brother twist.
That's right. Do a sibling season.
Love it.
Yep.
They'll cry the whole season and I'll just look at their eyes.
Yeah.
It'll be beautiful.
It'll be great.
Adidas. Love them. Put it on a t-shirt, ladies.
Yes.
I'll buy it. No, I don't want them to leave. And I don't want Rob and Corey to leave. I don't want Greg and John to leave. Loving them.
Yeah.
Todd and Ashley are very strong. Okay, good season, you guys.
It is fun.
Excited about the U-turn, but disappointed in how that went down. But otherwise, loving it.
Yep.
So next week, same time, same place.
Same time, same place.
We'll see you then. Oh, wait, everyone in the chat, You're amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes. And if you're joining us later, please leave us a comment. It always helps. We want to hear what you think about Liam and Jeremy going home, how the U-turn was used, and what do you think is going to happen in Germany?
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.